Welcome everyone to another Conversations in the Void. I'm your host, Graveyard, joined as always with my off-screen producer, Salem. Make sure to say hi to Salem in the chat. I am pleased to introduce our guest for tonight. He's a writer, director, producer with works including 29 Needles, Lovely Molly, and upcoming Made Anew. Please welcome to the Void, Scott Philip Goergens.
Oh, how are you all?
Doing good for a Wednesday evening. How about you?
Very good, very good. Just settling into, just moved, and things are a little bit of a mess in the new location, but enjoying it.
That's always fun and nerve-wracking at the same time.
Yeah, indeed. Yeah.
Well,
Exactly.
So Scott, welcome to the show. And I'd like to get to know a little bit about the guest before we go kind of meat and potatoes of this. So what kind of really brought you into the world of filmmaking?
I as a teenager, just started to, I was an artist. I am an artist, and I really, something about the film really appealed to me. So I got myself a camcorder and just started playing around with it with friends. So we would, a lot of people would do this and that, and me and my friends would just go out and try to make a short film in a day, and with no story, nothing in mind, just like you'd figure it out, and it was all in camera editing, so there was no post editing. It was just you filmed it in order, and we had fun with it. I think that my friends had fun with me doing that with them. I didn't. I don't think any of them had any interest in it besides me. So yeah.
Oh,
that's how it started. So, but I had a love for horror, and I kind of wanted to do something with that.
Mm-hmm. That's cool. I remember as a kid, we didn't have fancy electronics growing up in my house, but my friends had it. And we watched Halloween, Curse of Michael Myers, and we're going to make our own Halloween movie. And so we set off to do that with no script and just kind of do it. And, it took years and years for me to, get back into filmmaking myself. I took a 15-year gap of doing shorts and stuff from YouTube to now I'm doing it again. Yeah. So it's fun. It's addicting too.
It is. I mean that's and when it all boils down to it, that's what it is. That's what brings joy, and it's fun. So for me, so that's what it's about.
Yeah. So you talk about your love of horror. Do you recall what your first horror movie was?
Well, that I watched, or that
that you watched.
Well, I would say this. I don't really recall, but I do remember that the first one that really kind of impacted me was The Evil Dead, and my cousins were really big into horror, and they were one was about my age and one was a year older, but their mom, my aunt, really loved horror, and so we would go over there, and they would always have a couple movies rented, and Evil Dead was one of them one time, and I was just enthralled. I was like, this is amazing. This is so amazing. I mean, this was back in the 80s. So it was, I was younger then, and there was a lot less out there, but I mean, still Evil Dead has such an impact. But I remember just like jaw on the floor, just thought that this was amazing. So I think that wasn't my first horror watching a horror movie, but I do remember that was the one that had the biggest impact, because I was like, there's so many great things, and I felt like these people made this happen, and I want to do that,
Right. Yeah, that was the Evil Dead trilogy was the litmus test for my wife when we started dating. If I knew that she was gonna be the one, if she could watch the Evil Dead trilogy with me and be okay with it.
Yeah.
So she was kind enough to let me name our son Ash William. So.
Oh no, that's a good name. Yeah.
So that's awesome. So Scott, kind of like I like to get people's highs and lows of horror movies too. So do you have like something that you just don't understand, like why is this franchise or IP just so overhyped? You just don't get like how this make $2 billion in the box office type deal.
Ooh, well, that's a hard one. I don't like. I will say this, that I think that from an artist standpoint, because I also paint, there. If you are going to create art, there is an audience for it. You're creating it for yourself, but somebody is going to appreciate it. So, I, in saying that, I'm not trashing anything. I'm just saying that this was not my my thing. And I will say that as a franchise, the Art the Clown stuff is, and the Terrifier. I don't think that they're horrible, because I mean they're making a huge amount of money and they have a huge audience. And I probably will just for shits and giggles watch the next one, but I don't really. I think that it was like lightning in a bottle, and they're running with it, which is wonderful. I just don't know if I get it so much.
Right.
So
yeah. And I get that. I agree. I think they've gotten progressively worse with each entry. We're almost entering the Jason 5, or Friday the 13th 5, Jason Lives territory with it, because it is a throwback to 80s slashers for sure, on the budget and the practical effects and all that stuff. But we don't need another one. Maybe it's going to be the last one. Finish the story, the final Terrifier. We'll see, but who knows?
And not to get too into like, I mean, things can be just art house and they don't have to make sense. But I think I'm just kind of maybe hoping for something for it to make sense somewhere, and maybe that's the next one. I don't know.
Let's face it, Art the Clown's going to hell with the main protagonist. I think that's
yeah, I'm sure. Yeah.
So then, Scott, on the flip side, what is something that you just don't understand? Like, someone hasn't seen the movie. Like, okay, I got to make you watch this right now.
Oh goodness. Those are difficult ones. I think that a lot of people have seen a lot of the ones that I really enjoy. I just I like some really that's a hard one. That's a good question. I would say that one that I come back to for repeat performances is Annihilation. And it's so enjoyable in so many levels for me. There's good scares, there's good terror, there's people against people, and then there's just like the new world building, and it's really interesting. But I think that just because it's a slow burn, and it's a lot about dialogue, that people maybe it's not such up there, and it's got a heavy sci-fi kind of element. But I come back to that. I do believe that a lot of people appreciate it though and enjoy it. But that one is one that I'm like, if people haven't seen it, I'm like, you need to see that. For me,
Oh yeah, for sure. I think it's a fantastic movie, visually stunning. The skull bear, essentially, whatever you want to call it, too. Looks great. And yes,
Elistons and yeah.
All right, so Scott, I know you worked as a casting associate and stuff like that. So what kind of led you to make your first movie with 29 Needles?
Well, so I'm self-taught, and I worked for a company back when I lived in Boston, and I wanted to learn how to do the things necessary to create because I had the camcorder, and it's like, okay, I need to go bigger and I
Mm-hmm.
needed to learn a bit about it. And I was going to go to film school, and I decided not to go to film school. I said, I want to do it myself. And I got good advice from somebody saying, you're going to be working next to people that have gone to film school, and you will be less in debt than them and doing the same job. So go and be a PA and figure things out. And so I did that. And I bought a camera. I worked for a place that rented cameras to film companies. And then before I left, I bought a camera and a tripod and a light and some batteries. I said, I'm going to do it. And eventually I did. And I just kind of came up with a script that I didn't want to do found footage because found footage is a really easy way to hide limits in budget. But I didn't want to do that. I wanted to have a different feel about it. I wanted to have a different feel for the film. So I just wrote this script and tried to map it out and went forward and made it on my own. And over time, obviously, and then after I had done that, we were in post for a while fixing things, and I ended up getting the job in casting with Pat Moran and doing kinds of fun HBO projects and stuff like that. So I made the movie, and then I got that job. So it was great. Yeah.
But that's it. It's exciting. It's a lot of work to make a movie. Some people say, "Oh, I have my iPhone, therefore I can make any movie I want at any time." It's true. You can film a movie, but the editing, the coherence, the work that goes into it, it's not as easy as some people think. It's not just hey, let's shoot the movie in 6 hours and we call it good. There's a lot more process that should go into a movie.
Yes. And there are movies that are made that way, and they probably find their audience, but they might not get attention. So for various reasons that might be obvious. So but so you take the time and learn and and figure out what went wrong and what went right.
Right. Yeah. I'm part of Horror Dads. We do found footage movies, but we are currently working on, and I'm part of our first, traditionally shot movie. And I can tell you right now, like 2 weekends ago, we shot for about 8 hours to get 6 minutes.
Yeah.
And vastly different than found footage.
For 29 Needles, I probably have 30 hours of footage. And it's like about an hour and a half after editing. So you get a lot, you weed a lot out. I mean, I'm not saying that the other hours, the other 29 hours or 28 and a half were worth adding. I'm just saying that you had to shoot them. So.
Right. So when you listen then the Scott director's cut of the 30-hour movie of 29
no one wants to see that. Yeah.
No, but that's cool. Like I said, it takes a lot of work to make a movie, and you've gotten awards and accolades and stuff like that. So what's that kind of been going to the film festivals, showing your movie, and then even getting the awards for it? I mean, that's got to have some good feeling inside.
It was incredible. It's an incredible feeling. Nightmares Film Festival gave me the award for the best in show, the best of the festival, and I mean that was I wouldn't have expected that in a million years, and I was blown away by that. And I was with the gentleman Andrew Willis that scored the film, and the star of the film Brooke Berry, and we were just like, how did this happen? I mean, it took forever to make the movie, and here we are. And that was the first time Brooke had even seen the movie, was at the festival. So
wow.
Brooke didn't even know what see. I kept the script in pieces, and Brooke never really kind of knew what the movie was going to be like. So, so no, it was amazing, and having that. that recognition. I mean, I didn't need it to feel good about making the movie, but it certainly helps. It makes you feel like there is an audience and people understand it. So that's always nice.
Right. Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
And it's a testament, though. It's because you are too extreme for mainstream with 29 Needles, right?
Yeah. I think I may have been the last entry for unearthed films in that category. We'll see, though.
I mean, kind of, how's that been? Like, kind of getting to an audience in horror. I mean, obviously, people love underground horror a lot, but do you find that kind of hurt your film in any way to get to more people in front of more eyes?
Do you mean that because of the content, it
Yeah.
it limited the audience?
Yeah.
Well, I will say that I mean, I knew it going into it, making the movie, that it was going to be limited, and it was going to be a very specific audience, and it wouldn't appeal to a wide audience. So it didn't affect me that way, except for the fact that how well it has been received for those. I mean, obviously, and I'll say this: there's a lot of people that have reviewed it, and it gets good and bad reviews, and I will say that all those reviews are correct. I mean, it's not a perfect film. It's not a great film. But it is the best film I made for what I was trying to say, and it appeals to some people. It doesn't appeal to other people. But for my next one, I will say that I'm not telling that same type of story, and I am going to be opening myself up to a wider audience with a new story. So
Right.
I think that'll be really interesting.
Yeah. I mean, I cannot find a copy of your movie, first and foremost, unfortunately, to watch it before this interview. I do want to watch it for sure, because people are talking about their reviews like it's parallel to a Serbian film and in the same vein and category.
Well, I will say that Serbian film had a higher production value. So I mean, I was working on a shoestring budget, even less than a shoestring budget. So I mean, I made a film that turned some heads for thousands of dollars, like a few $1,000s. So yeah, but I think that it made an impact. Obviously, if I was getting that kind of review. So yeah.
But it's your art, it's your piece of work, and you should be proud of it regardless of, because people sometimes suck online. Let's face it. People just send bad reviews just to send bad reviews. We get it with our movies. We just go, okay, you didn't like it. We're okay with that. Maybe it wasn't your thing, but it's still, you're working years of work and time just to make it.
Yeah. Well, no, it's true. And, not everybody is going to, it's good to have variety, and you can't always make the same type of thing, because you wouldn't have variety. And I'm not going to be, if there's a person that only likes slasher films, they're not going to appreciate the other things. But there needs to be a person out there making those things, the other types of movies, for the audience that really that the slasher doesn't appeal to them, or that's not the only type of thing that they want to watch. So there's, you got to have a variety. So
right,
I'm here to make it.
exactly, and that's good, because you said the variety is the spice of life, that you have to be able to have it, and it's a testament that you were able to have comparisons to a Serbian film and being unearthed and all these accolades for it, because they said it's low budget, but you made it work, and it's like I said, kudos to that.
Thank you. Yeah. Yeah.
So, and then I researching you also wrote a children's book. Is that correct?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it's kind of like Edward Gorey kind of children's
Okay.
book. It's not Green Eggs and Ham, but it's more like, yeah. So I did write a children's book. It was a while back, and I haven't stopped writing. I just haven't published anything else. But the children's book I wrote was called "You Are Now Leaving Torporville," and
Hmm.
it's just about a boy that doesn't have eyes or ears or arms or a name, and how he kind of finds his way. But it's more about uh, realizing that maybe you need to move onto a place where people appreciate who you are rather than stay somewhere that people don't appreciate you. So
Right.
something like that. Yeah. So yeah, I wrote that. So yeah, it's a big difference from
Uh-huh.
horror film to children's book. But I mean, in my head, they're all there. So
That's good. That's good though. That shows the range you're able to write in.
yeah, yeah. Yes.
So with having done 29 Needles and working with your new movie and getting that in production and going, is there any kind of things that you learned from doing 29 Needles that you're now able to apply with your next feature film?
Definitely. I limited cast and crew, or limited cast and crew, yeah, mainly crew, really allowed me to understand that I I knew that you needed all of these factors, but I
Hmm.
didn't have the ability to have all of this crew in place while we were filming. So I was trying to wear too many hats. So I will be wearing one hat in the next movie, and having other people do all those other things, which is extremely important. You need good sound. You need good light.
Hmm.
Um, you need a good person doing cinematography where you can be back there and just doing the directing. But all the other things as well, all the other elements, too many hats thins you out, and you're not able to focus on the most important thing, which is what you're seeing, the end result. So
Right.
yeah, I learned all that, and I mean, I already knew this, that you need to have extra shots for cutaways in case there's problems, and I didn't have enough. I still didn't have enough cutaways, because there were scenes where there were no cutaways, and I just thought, I got this shot, and then I go back and I use it. Shit, he looked right at the camera there, and I didn't notice it. So I got to cut away there, So
Yeah.
you have to be creative. Yeah. So
Oh yeah, that's the joy of indie film, is wearing too many hats, doing the long
yeah,
hours, but it's all
yeah,
worth it. It really is.
it is. It is. Yeah.
So I like I said, that's great, and it's you're able to grow with it, and I have to imagine that your storyboards are, as since you're an artist, are much better than my stick figure ones that I have to make.
Well, you would think, but I didn't even have storyboards for the first one, because I was filming it, and
Hmm.
so it was in my head, and I just told people, be there and be there, and do that, and that was the action. I mean, it was more specific than that. But for the next one, made anew, I who knows what the storyboards are in my head still, but I do have a cinematographer that I need to work with to kind of let them know what I need. So I think this they may still be some stick figures in there. I don't need to create sellable art in the storyboards. So
Well, it
yeah,
just kind of reminds me of, like you always see the Sam Raimi from Evil Dead 2. It's like, how do you know his hand's evil? It's a big hand. That's how you know it's evil, because stick figure
that's
big.
how you know. It's big, obviously. Yeah, it's evil. Yeah.
Exactly. Exactly. Now, have you gone to any? Obviously, you go to film festivals. Do you go to like any horror conventions and have your movie there for people to purchase?
I haven't, and I need to. I do know that Unearthed has gone to some conventions, and I think that they bring content like 29 Needles. But I should that could be something for the future.
Oh yeah. We had a table for our show, our podcast that we also do, and Horror Dads at Days of the Dead in last November in Chicago here, and we sold out. We didn't bring very many copies of movies, but we sold out of everything because I found in the horror world and horror cons, people love physical media still.
Yeah, I mean that's the thing about. I'm sure that it goes beyond, but because I'm more into the horror community, I feel like the horror community is really into physical media, and it's important. And some of these times you got power storms and cable goes out, and what are you going to do? you need a physical copy of things. So you got your generator going, and you still can watch a movie.
Oh yeah, I think a lot of it is because I'll age myself here. I was born in the 80s. If we didn't have a physical copy of something, we didn't have it. So that's how we grew up with the analog age.
Yeah,
that we have to have it. And I still to this day cannot read a book on a tablet or an ebook. I have to have the physical book.
Same. Yeah. I need it, and I prefer hardback most of the times when I'm reading, but I do go to paperback especially if it's available in paperback. But yeah, physical. I need a physical book.
Yeah.
And also, I feel like it's good to do something different with your eyes than always be on a screen.
Oh, so, for sure. I do IT for a living, so I'm staring at a screen for my job. And then podcasting to the show and everything else, I'm always staring at a screen. So it's good to have that.
Yeah.
All right. So Scott, let's get up into some wrap-up questions because we're at that time. So I have to know, what's your favorite scary movie?
Oh gosh, is this like this is this is Scream? Are you calling me on my phone? What's your favorite scary movie?
I am.
Oh gosh, I'm gonna probably be cliche with some of this stuff. I love Cronenberg, and I think that The Fly does so much, and I really love. There's so many horror movies, but The Fly, I think, it says so many different things in one movie, and I really love that one. Yeah.
Oh yeah. I think the most unbelievable thing in the entire movie is that the fact that it's the 80s and he's able to talk to his computer and answer him. Turn into a fly. Yes. I can believe that. That computer that can do that. Mine doesn't do that now for me as it is.
Yeah.
All right. So Scott, next question is practical or CGI?
Practical all the time.
Yeah. Hands down. Yep. It's, like I said, we've done almost 100 of these shows and only 2 people have said CGI.
Yeah. And the budget for my next movie and my last one was focused solely on the practical effects being so much. So the first one, I mean, we created this enormous practical effect. And the next one, it's scaling up. So I'm a big person, and I do appreciate how CGI can enhance practical effects. But I do believe that you need to start with the practical effects. So
yeah, for sure. Okay, so Scott, if someone was to knock on your door tomorrow and said, "I'm giving you $1 million to make the next horror movie in an existing IP or franchise," what would it be?
It would be A Nightmare on Elm Street.
Yes.
It would be A Nightmare on Elm Street. I have loved that series, and it has some really good films, but I think it has such potential, and it just has not gotten there. It was a nice start, and then it was like, and then A New Nightmare gave me hope, and then you know, and then it's just, I think that it needs to be dark and horrible, and it could be that. Yeah.
Yeah, Freddy became a class clown by the end of it.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Even he's still on my horror slasher sleeve, so on the other
Nice.
side.
Nice. Yeah.
For sure. Awesome. Yeah, that's my answer too. I would do a Nightmare on Elm Street, hands down, as well.
It would be so much fun. That would be so much fun.
Sure.
I could do a Hellraiser too.
Ooh. Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, arguably there's only been maybe 5 good ones out of the 12.
Yeah, yeah. But I would do one. Yeah.
But I mean, you'd have to get Doug Bradley back as Pinhead, though.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't think he's willing to do it, though.
No, not at all.
Yeah.
Not at all. All right. So, Scott, any advice for people getting into the filmmaking business that you can give?
Don't let anything stop you from what you want to do. Just make it happen. And I'm not saying like, if you want to do it, you can make it happen. Just keep pushing forward. If you want to make a movie, do it. Don't wait for I mean, you can make 20 crappy movies on your phone before you make the one that you want. But the practice will help weed that out. So, or whatever you have, you know, just do it. That might be lame advice, but it's really important to kind of don't wait for that thing. Like, you don't need this golden ticket. You just start doing stuff. You know, get in there, get your fingers in there, learn stuff.
Oh yeah, it's very, very true. You know, I was lucky enough to be 2 years ago to be a PA on a set, and I just went full force back into it. So
yeah, it's fun. It's great.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So we do have a random horror trivia question that we ask everyone. I pulled the next card from the deck. So you ready for this?
Okay.
All right. What is the name of the camp in the 1983 film Sleepaway Camp?
Oh my God. I'm not going to get it. I'm not going to get it. I love that film, but I don't know the name of the camp. I just don't.
All right. Would you like to know that?
I'm going to fail this. I can't. Yeah. Tell me.
All right. Camp Arawak. Arawak. Arawak.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. That's
0
my
points
wife's
for me.
That's all good. It's my wife's favorite franchise.
It's a lot of fun. It really is. And the first one is obviously iconic. So yeah.
We're lucky enough to maybe be working with Flisser Rose here in the near future. So
really?
Yeah.
Oh, very good.
So awesome, Scott. So before we go, give us your pluggables. Where can people find you, follow you, and learn everything about you and your upcoming movie Made Anew?
So my website is arsenicmedia.com, and you can find me at Arsenic Media on Instagram, and you can find me by my name, or Arsenic Media, or Made Anew or 29 Needles on Facebook. I'm on Blue Sky as well. So search, you'll find me.
Awesome. Thank you very much, Scott, for coming on. I hope you had a good time. You're always welcome back, especially when you have a new movie out, and we can talk to your new movie Made New when it comes out and review it and everything too.
Sounds good. Thank you so much.
All right. Well, thank you, everyone. We'll see you next time, and follow us on social media at PodOutatNight, and don't get lost in the void. Good night.